Enner Doudoroff pathway. Let's talk about it. Now this pathway is alternative pathway which catabolizes your glucose into pyruvate using enzymes that are different from those enzymes which are there in glycolysis and pentose phosphate pathway. So this pathway is an alternative pathway for the conversion of glucose into pyruvate. Now this Enner Doudoroff pathway was first discovered by Michael Doudoroff and Nathan Enner. Okay, these two scientists were there to discover this pathway first. Now this Enner Doudoroff pathway mainly occurs in prokaryotes. Okay, it only occurs in prokaryotes and mostly in gram-negative bacteria such as Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Azotobacter and Rhizobium. Okay, in prokaryotes and in mostly gram-negative bacteria, this Enner Doudoroff pathway occurs. Now this glucose phosphate, in this pathway, the glucose phosphate is oxidized to 2-keto-3-deoxy-6-phosphogluconic acid, which is abbreviated as KDPG, and then this thing 2-keto-3-deoxy-6-phosphogluconic acid is cleaved by 2-keto-3-deoxy-glucose phosphate aldolase, and the cleavage of this thing produces pyruvate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Okay, this is what happens in Enner Doudoroff pathway. The glucose phosphate is first oxidized to 2-keto-3-deoxy-6-phosphogluconic acid, and then it is cleaved into pyruvate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Now this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate which is produced here is later oxidized into pyruvate by glycolytic pathway, and the oxidation of this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate then results in the synthesis of 2 ATPs. So it's like a combination of Enner Doudoroff pathway and glycolytic pathway which is taking place in prokaryotes and mostly in gram-negative bacteria. So by this Enner Doudoroff pathway followed by the glycolytic pathway converts one glucose molecule into one ATP, one NADH and one NADPH. So let's look at the Enner Doudoroff pathway. So you start with glucose and then it is phosphorylated into glucose 6-phosphate and there is consumption of one ATP molecule, and after this glucose 6-phosphate is converted into 6-phosphogluconate, and in this conversion one NADP molecule is getting converted into NADPH. Okay, one NADPH is forming in this conversion. After this 6-phosphogluconate is converted into 2-keto-3-deoxy-6-phosphogluconate, and in this reaction there is release of one water molecule, and then this 2-keto-3-deoxy-6-phosphogluconate is converted into one molecule of pyruvate and one molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. That is what your Enner Doudoroff pathway was. But then after this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate which is produced here is subjected to glycolytic pathway. It enters the glycolytic pathway and it gets converted into pyruvate, and in that process 2 ATP molecules are generated and one NADH molecule is also generated. So 2 ATP molecules are generated here, but one ATP molecule was consumed here. So the net production of this Enner Doudoroff pathway and the glycolytic pathway we just saw here is one NADPH molecule. Okay, one NADPH is synthesized, then one NAD is synthesized and one ATP is synthesized. So that is how the Enner Doudoroff pathway functions.